Shalom, giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Marachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the tabernacle of David, the overflow elect. Now, before I even get into this news clip, this is from Al Jazeera, I just want to start off with this scripture in 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, and I'm going to start at the top. And it reads, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." And what we know right now is, you have a lot of national coverage of the UN General Assembly that was held yesterday. And pretty much they're covering the outcome of what transpired, after all these different world leaders, chimed in and pretty much gave their input on, the world's affairs and the latest controversy with the current state of Israel's doing in Palestine. And 80% of the UN have all voiced their recognition for a Palestinian state. And we know that Babylon, as well as Amalek, they're going to stand down on all 10 toes. So, this is definitely a conflict of interest. All right, so this is definitely interesting, but we're going to see what develops. So they're trying to basically recognize this state so that they can restore peace in the so-called Middle East. But we know the scriptures say there is no peace unto the wicked. And also in Revelation, the 6th chapter, the 4th verse, it tells you that there will be a red horse. And unto that red horse will be given a sword to take away peace from the earth. So they're trying to, figure out a solution for peace, but we already know how this is all going to go. All right, but let me play this this news clip. This is from Al Jazeera English.
The historic decision
formally recognizes
the state of Palestine,
reconnaître la Palestine, la
state of Palestine,
pour la paix entre le peuple israélien et le peuple palestinien.
And mind you, most of these countries are all allies of America. These are all European allies of Babylon. But as you can see, that there's a shift. There's a shift happening. All right, this is all prophecy coming to fruition. All right, they're all defying the decisions of Western powers, primarily Babylon, America. Okay, so it's interesting to see how things are coming along. In this assembly, at one of the speeches, you had the president of Indonesia, where he basically declared that he would actually send 20,000 troops over to Gaza. And seeing how Bibi, how he's been on one, we're going to see how he actually handles troops and armies from these other countries that's going to be sent over there to try to broker in this so-called peace. All right. But all I got to say is there's a reason why the Lord, when you read Obadiah, it's really one chapter, right? When you read the first verse, it tells you how the Lord is going to send an ambassador to all the nations to prepare in battle against Edom. You can actually see Edom is crashing out. Even Esau is divided against Esau. So you know that it's coming to an end for this devil, man. But anyway, let's finish this.
Je déclare que la France reconnaît aujourd'hui l'État de Palestine.
So you got 80% of the UN, they all recognizing the state of Palestine, right? They also have been declaring that what they're doing over there, that operation, is considered genocide, but yet nothing is happening. So it's like the rest of the world is allowing Amalek and the security that they get from Babylon. They all have these differences, but yet they're allowing this to continue to operate. So I wonder if this just, is this the beginning of that transition where we're going to start to see everybody start to be in opposition, and, things start to, go in a more, trying to think of the term, but we're going to start to see a change. All right. And we're going to see if they're going to actually stand up to, Amalek and Babylon. Because this is all a conflict of interest.
Le temps est venu d'arrêter la guerre, les bombardements à Gaza, les massacres et les populations en fuite. Le temps de la paix est venu, car nous sommes à quelques instants de ne plus pouvoir la saisir.
And you know what can actually happen? Because they've been alluding to this. Zelensky, BB, they've been making statements about how America is open for an attack. And we know that Amalek, they have a history, and I've uploaded the video, I believe twice. But they're not above setting up their own, staging false flags upon themselves or even on souls of America, just to send a message to not only the people in the U.S., but also to Trump. Because a line is being drawn in the sand right now. So they can easily orchestrate something here on soils, which is why they're trying to put out these bulletins and these alerts that, there's a possibility of some type of terroristic activity that can transpire here. I wouldn't put it past them small hats. Because, hey, they knew 9/11 was going to happen and got out of Dodge. And that can be the straw that, turns the tide on this whole thing. Whether these nations actually have a change of heart and jump back on the bandwagon and support the genocide, all right? Or they don't fall for it, and the U.S. have to basically, start war, because really they want the U.S. to actually go to war with Iran. That's the main thing. Iran is the end game. But the U.S., they understand what's at stake, what's at risk if they go directly toe-to-toe with Iran. That's going to bring in Russia, China, and all their allies. Then the world will be on the brink of world war. All right? So, them small hats over there, and that's how you understand why it says in Jeremiah, prophesying that the least of the flock shall draw them out. Because America is in all this turmoil behind them. And you got the rest of the world that's disagreeing with their whole operation and what they're doing. But like I said, they can easily turn the tide and play on people's emotions by staging an event You know, because people, they tend to change when their emotions are riled up. So you never know. And the scriptures say, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, we're not ignorant of his devices. All right. They work evil upon their beds when the morning is light. They practice it because it is in the power of their hand. So they can do some stuff. But as of now, these nations, they not feeling it. And these devils, they been getting nothing but smoke that entire UN assembly. All those world leaders, they got up there and it was just nothing but smoke for what they're doing over in Gaza. Now us, you know, we could care less because those are not our people, but we understand that the Lord is setting this up for the bigger good. Let's go real quick to Joel 3, and this is basically the main point. Joel 3:1, it says, for behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, you know, get them ready for war, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahushaphat, the Most High's judgment, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, or the land of Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land, meaning they divided the land. So you got the UN, they're trying to recognize a two-state heritage, right? They're trying to recognize two states, Israel and Palestine. And Amalek, they're like, no, this is all us. And we're going to continue to extend even up into Syria. And they don't believe that based on the covenant made with Abraham. You know, it all goes back to Theodore Herzl. Look him up. And that's what Zionism is predicated upon. Okay? So that's basically what the Lord is doing. He's stirring the pot and getting these nations ready and prepared. And right now they all trying to call for some type of peace, but we know that there ain't gonna be no peace. All right? They parted the Lord's land. They divided it up. The heathen took it. They got it in their possession. You got Amalek, Idumea, and the residue of the heathen over there. So voila. So let's continue.
Let's be clear, statehood for the Palestinians is a right, not a reward. And denying statehood would be a gift to extremists everywhere. Without two states, there will be no peace in the Middle East, and radicalism will spread around the world.
Tenemos que adoptar con carácter inmediato medidas para frenar la barbarie y hacer posible la paz. España, por supuesto, adoptará un plan con medidas para frenar el genocidio en Gaza y seguiremos tomando medidas valientes con quienes quieran sumarse, porque Gaza lo necesita. Excelencias, la historia nos juzgará y su veredicto será implacable con quienes perpetraron esta barbarie y con quienes callaron o miraron hacia otro lado.
نثمن مواقف الدول التي اعترفت بدولة فلسطين وندعو من لم يعترف بعد إلى القيام بذلك. ندعو إسرائيل للجلوس فورا إلى طاولة المفاوضة بوقف شلال الدم وتحقيق السلام العادل والشامل في المنطقة.
They all calling for peace. And it's also a lot of shameful spewing. All right, let's get Habakkuk 2. And then you had Trump that had to get up there and act the fool. You know, basically saying that all you nations, y'all are going to hell. You know, he got to basically stand his ground and look like a fool to the rest of the world, because it's pretty obvious that they own Trump. Habakkuk 2:16, it says, "Thou art filled with shameful glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory." And everybody know it's you, and you know, at this point, you know, you can't escape your fate, and you can't escape who you are. Jeremiah 49 and verse 10, it says, "But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not." All right, so, you know, Esau is being uncovered right now, and his iniquity is being revealed before heaven, and the earth is rising up against him. And that brings me to Obadiah. Starting at the top, it says, "The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised." And you are greatly despised. All right. And let me get this in Obadiah. Let me get it in the Amplified. Let me get this, the 7th verse. And it says, "All the men allied with you shall send you on your way to the border. The men who are at peace with you shall deceive you and overpower you. Those who eat your bread, those you trust, you know, all your allies, shall set a hostile ambush for you. There is no understanding of it." Because eventually your European allies, they're going to all turn against you. You know, the shift already been happening, but, you know, things are going to continue to escalate. You know, they're growing apart. They're tired of the unilateralism. So things are going to start to change. And pursuing the Revelation 17, it says that the beast shall hate the whore. So before you know it, it's going to be basically Babylon and Amalek versus the rest of the world. You know? So they going to let the little flock, that least of the flock, draw them out and end up destroyed. Following after a reckless individual, a warmonger, a war criminal, bloodthirsty. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Both the US and the Israel will not participate in this charade. We will not enter the GA hall, and we will not take part in this charade.
It's all a big charade. Yeah, all right, man. But hey, it's beautiful to see, man. All right, that just continue to watch as well as pray. And with that, I'm gonna give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Shalom.